Okay, y'all, it is January 10th, February 10th. Maybe I should stop the recording and start all over again. I want it to still be January, but it is February the 10th, which means we have to celebrate all awesome things that took place in the month of January. So we are actually going to get started really quickly by introducing some brand new team members who are on here today. And I think we have two people on here today that started with us in the month of January. So first, Rachel Jones, I'll let you introduce your new team member really quick.
Yes, so my new team member is Rachel Starrett. We went to high school together but reconnected a few months ago through Instagram, and Rachel is currently a senior at Freed-Hardeman. She is a double major, and she has been taking the products for a while now, but now wants to share them with her friends and family. So she joined our team. So yay, Rachel.
Awesome. Okay. And then Megan, if you can quickly introduce Sarah.
Hey. So Sarah is on the call tonight, and Sarah lives here in Murfreesboro, but she's from Columbia, and she designs homes, like not like interior, but like the build. Okay, like something with the blueprints and stuff like that. And also she and Mary Elizabeth are sisters, and she's working for her BF.
Awesome deal. Yeah. So Krista, I think, is getting back on right now. She just totally lost track of time. So I'll just share with you really quickly, for those of you who aren't in Goal Getters and haven't heard how great Debbie's organization did last month in January. Team Vision had over 400 new orders for the month of January. And I can't remember what her new team member count was, but I want to say the journey had approximately 20 new team members and at least 150 of those 410 orders. So that is pretty incredible. So we all had something great to celebrate. And then, of course, February, it's a much shorter month, so we just want to make sure that we keep things going and keep sharing the business every time we talk to somebody about the product, and using Kurt's 5 options. I've kind of combined it to 4, which is what I prefer using, but the 4 or 5 options that Kurt has shared with us. And there was a lot of communication back and forth today on the Journey Voxer chat asking about our startup, because we had used the wishing wells in the past. We will update that document probably tomorrow. I will not do it this evening. I will update that document tomorrow and change the verbiage on there so that you'll have something that's a little bit more fresh. That seems to be working really, really well. So before we get started, what we're going to talk about tonight is starting up someone, just very briefly, but then also there's been a lot of talk about, like, how do you do a launch party or a launch Zoom for someone? And Megan and Rachel and I have been on several of these recently, and we've had a lot of questions coming about. So we're just going to kind of give everybody a quick overview of it. But before we do that, is there anything that anyone would like to mention, comment, celebrate, something? I don't know if I've missed anything, or something that's on your heart before we get going into anything else. Maybe just a big, exciting win for the week or the month. Go figure.
I had to think. Let me tell y'all something, and I meant to put this out on the Journey chat this week. So my best friend, and I mean best friend, okay, we've been friends since we were 2 years old, like grew up on the same street together. Our parents even went through a divorce at the same time. We did counseling together. She was the only person in my wedding, okay? We have been through it all. I have shared Juice Plus with her multiple times, okay? You guys, I know multiple times over the last almost 4 years. She called me this week and said, I'm ready. Get me them pills, girl. So I just want to show y'all that, like, the people that you think I've shared with them and I've shared with them and I've shared with them till I can't share with them anymore, keep doing it. And honestly, I don't even talk to her about it anymore. She came to it on her own, and that was a huge win. Huge win. She's not a mama yet, and I'm just like, yes.
That's
So,
awesome. That is a huge win. It's always great when people all of a sudden like, hey, okay, I'm ready. And that just goes to that whole thing that we always talk about, that, never get frustrated if someone says that it's not the right time, or if they don't show up at an event that you really wanted them at, because we want them to be there when it's the right time for them. Because I guarantee you, had she ordered from Megan 6 months ago or 2 years ago, she wouldn't have been consistent with taking the product, and it would not have been a good experience from anyone. But now that she's waited until it's the right time, she's going to love it. She's going to take it and be compliant, and she's going to be a customer for life, and she's going to change her life. Okay. So, yeah, Stacy, go ahead.
I have a win too.
What's
So, and new team member Lauren, or Alicia. I don't know why I just said Lauren. Alicia just hopped on, trying to get into Zoom. But my win was, I'm in a private Facebook group with a bunch of chiropractors, and one of the guys in there posted a picture of his little 1-year-old and said, "Hey guys, what do you recommend for a vitamin for a 1-year-old?" And I was like, ooh, here's my chance. And I didn't post it in the group or anything. I took it to a private message, and I just shared a snippet about Juice Plus and said, it's fruits and vegetables, whole food, all natural, no additives, totally safe for kids. You can either give them gummies, or you can actually feed them the powder directly. Would you like to check it out? And he said, sure. So I sent him the video of Casey Smotherman giving her baby the powder. I sent the video of how it's made. And then I said, well, I'm sure you're like my Josh and want to see the research that backs it up. So I sent him the link to the research on my page. Every other chiropractor on this page sells some kind of supplement in their office. And he sent me a message back and said, how do I make sure you get credit for it? And I said, just give me a call and I'll place your order.
Sweet.
I think I'm on now, ladies.
What was that?
Can you ladies hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So Stacy, will you introduce your new team member to everyone, please?
Okay, so this is Alicia, and she signed up on Friday. So she's brand spanking new, made her list, and we have her launch call scheduled for Tuesday. So this is perfect that we're going to be talking about this, and she's jumping in.
Perfect. Okay. All right. I'm going to mute you. I'm going to do some muting here really quick. All right. So what we're going to talk about briefly is how to do what we've been doing as sort of a welcome / friends and family type of a Zoom. So in the past, we were calling them the Freedom Revolution, and there was a script that we were following, and we were doing them frequently. And at one point in time, we were actually on when I was messaging, I'm like, this really sounds scripted. Like, it doesn't sound natural and relaxed. So collectively, and just kind of going through the process so many times and being so familiar with the script, we just started to kind of wing it, so to speak. And there really isn't a script. I mean, because if I wrote a script of what we're doing, then it would be scripted again, and it's not going to sound natural and authentic. But what we can do is give you some bullet points as to what we've been doing. And you can call it pretty much whatever you want to call it. Some people are calling it healthy, like Take Healthy Back. You can still call it a Freedom Revolution. You can call it a Friends and Family Call. But the one that we've been doing that I think we've kind of really decided we like a lot is called Made for More. And we have been making a graphic that goes along with it. You can do whatever kind of graphic you want. But what's been fun is we've been sharing the pictures of the 4 people who are going to be speaking. And we've done them with 3. But 4 seems to be a really good number, because when you're doing 4, your listeners aren't having to hear the same person speaking for 5, 7, 10 minutes, because you're going to go back and forth. So there's your first point, 4 people. So it should be your new representative, you, and then either an upline or sideline buddies based on who it is that's actually going to be the new representative. So for example, if your new representative is in their 20s, and then I would pull in someone like Rachel to come in with me. If it's someone who is had a long time career and working mom, then I would pull someone like Krista in. If it's someone with young children, I would pull in Megan or Stacy. So it's just a matter of figuring out who's going to fit the guests. So this means you have to be in conversation with your representative to find out who are they inviting. So that way we're hitting the demographics based on who's actually going to be on the call or on the Zoom that night. Okay, so back to picking the 4 people. Obviously, the new rep has no idea who she should be asking. So that's your responsibility. And if you don't know because you're relatively new, then get with your upline. So you can have 3 generations, all from the same team that are doing this. That's perfectly fine. But you want to have 4 people. Pick your date, pick your time. It's no more than 30 minutes. Okay, so we're good so far? 4 people, 30 minutes, date and time. Then you want to create a graphic. And that graphic, like I said, what we've been doing has been really fun to have the 4 images of the people sharing on the graphic, because then like Rachel, I'm just going to go back to the one that we did recently where the 2 Rachels, we did one, and they were sharing the graphic on Instagram, and people are like checking it out like, oh my gosh, you're doing this. This is awesome. People that maybe they wouldn't have been inviting, but just because they had their picture on it, it grabbed the attention of their friends. So I do like the ones that have the picture of the people. You don't have to do it that way. These are just suggestions. So you're going to have 4 people that are going to be sharing. Here's the order in which we have been doing things that has worked so far. Person number 1 is going to be someone who is experienced with the product and has been in the business for a little bit longer, because they're going to be the one who is welcoming everyone for attending, telling them thank you for being on for so-and-so's launch of her new wellness business. And then you're going to transition that very smoothly into your product story. And with your product story, you're going to introduce all of the products that we have. So if you've ever done the Freedom Revolution, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm going to suggest that you look at it or the Healthy Solutions, because we actually have spots in it where you're showing the capsule bottle or you're showing the omegas. And that's a very critical point in doing this, because we don't want to be talking about, oh, I took this great product and it did all these wonderful things for me. Like, well, what is it? Is it juice? You have to have the capsules, the gummies, one or the other, or both would be great. The omegas, the shakes. If you have bars, have them available. If you don't, see if somebody else that's going to be doing the call has it, because they can always hold it up for you if they need to. So you're going to introduce, talk about your product story, and bring in your product into it. After they finish their product story, they're going to turn it over to team member B. This is still not the new representative. This is just another person who's a little bit familiar with the company. So speaker number 2 is going to start by sharing their product. So speaker 1 says all of her stuff, and then she says, okay, and now, Stacy, I'd really love for you to share how all the great things that Juice Plus has done for you and your family. So then speaker 2, Stacy, comes on and she shares her story as well. And she's starting with product, and she is going to very smoothly transition into her business story. And it's not where you don't have to be saying, okay, now I'm going to tell you my product story. This is my business story. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't want a story. It's just like, she's just going to smooth right on in there about how she heard about it. Her husband's a chiropractor, and it made perfect sense for them to also become reps because, and then it just kind of transitions into it. And when she's telling her business story, she's also going to touch upon all of the specific things about the business and our company, but mostly about the business. No minimums, no quotas, no inventory, $50 a year, great company. You don't have to go into a ton of details, but think about the things that really draw people to what we have. So she transitions product, business, talks about the company, or talks about how it was to start up a business, and then she's going to then introduce the new representative. And she's going to say something like this. And I am going to use, is it Alicia? Is that right? Nod your head if that's right. Alicia? Okay. So she's going to be introducing Alicia because she's a brand new representative. And she's going to say, Alicia, we are so excited for you and for your new adventure. And would you please just share with your friends and your family why you are excited about this? She's not talking about necessarily her product story because she doesn't have one. She's not going into a business story because she doesn't have one. But what she does know is why she is excited about what's about to happen to her and all of this great stuff that's coming her way. So she's going to share that. And then when she's finished, she's going to introduce the fourth speaker. And then that final speaker is who's going to be wrapping it up. So at that point, Alicia's going to say all of her great stuff. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited about this. And Krista, could you please let everyone know what this has been like for you or something of that nature? And then the final speaker, again, someone who's more familiar with everything, has been around for a while, they are going to share a few things, all based on time. Okay, so I'm going to pause right there for a second. All of these stories that we've said at this point, no one person should be speaking for more than 5 minutes. And I'm talking like that's the introduction and the story and the business. And then the new person actually even less time because they don't have as much to say at this point, maybe 2 to 3 minutes max. And then when the final speaker gets on, she's got to check the clock and see okay, I have 3 minutes or I have 12 minutes. Now, granted, we don't need to use all 12, but we want to make sure that we're staying under 30 minutes. Like 28 minutes is a good number. So if she has 10 minutes, then Krista's going to talk about it all. A very quick product and business story, why she said yes, but then a definite that she has to do on this is the community aspect and what this has done for her, touching again on how incredible the business opportunity is, touching on all of those things based upon the time that she has. So if she has 3 minutes, she's got to do a super fast. This is an incredible community. As you can see, we've heard, all these great things as quickly as she can, or she can stretch it out a little bit and share more of the details. So that is how we've been doing it. We've been recording all of these, and then we upload it onto YouTube, and then we're able to share it with the new team member who can then send it to all of her family and friends who were unavailable to watch the initial Zoom as it took place. So I'm going to put it back in this. So does anybody have questions or comments? I think almost everybody is muted right now with the exception of Krista. So if you have any questions or if you're like, I don't understand this or how about that, this is your opportunity to ask those questions. Go ahead, Stace.
All right. So when you're ending it and wrapping up, so obviously it depends on time and such, you touch on all the different things. How do you end it? Where do you leave it? Is it if any of this interests you or,
Yeah, so that's a great question. You can do it a lot of different ways, really. You can just do the, thank you, we really appreciate it. And Alicia's going to be getting back to you. Is going to be touching base with all of you tomorrow or this evening or whatever. Or you could do you have 3 options, which is really 5 options. We all know now. You have the 5 options. You can, the last one that we did, we actually ended it with a thank you for being on here tonight. And I had prefaced it before we ever started recording that we were going to stay on for questions afterwards because I knew there were questions that were going to come up just because of the new rep told me. And we stayed on and just asked all sorts of questions afterwards. But it's really just kind of get a feel for it. But I think it is important to just reiterate, that we would love for you to join us and to support the new rep and that she will be getting in touch with you. Instead of get in touch with the person who invited you here, she's going to follow up with you tomorrow or she's going to follow up with you tonight.
Are you still using the word track for inviting to the Freedom Revolution? Or you just
not really. Go ahead, Megan. I know she's jonesing.
Okay.
I'm not using the word track. And I know that you messaged me today asking me about this, but I knew that this was happening. So yes. But I I am sending a message out to all of my new people that they share, and I'm happy to share that.
That'd be great. We
But
already
it's just
we already sent out the script one.
That's fine.
well, whatever. Yeah.
That's totally fine.
The one that I'm using is just like, I'm so excited, about this new healthy lifestyle that I'm beginning. I'm whatever you want to say, your positive things that you're feeling, you know what I mean? And that's really just it. And I'm going to have a call to share it with the people that I love, and your support would be fantastic. Could you get on the call? Very simple. I thought of you because if you want to, but I feel like with what we're seeing with, yes, the I thought of you because is great, but I think just going into the excitement and bringing the person onto the call is great too. And then once you make a connection, you can say, I thought of you because afterwards, like in the follow-up or whatever.
Right. And Megan, if you want to get this to me, then we can put that on the drop mark inviting scripts.
I'll do that. I mean,
yes, Ellen, we will definitely send all this stuff out. That's what I was just saying to Megan. Megan's been given a task.
I've been given a task like a month ago, but my head's been spinning, and I'm sorry, but I will get eventually. I need to just start, as I type them up, I need to put them into my notes so they're just already there.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. What other questions? No other questions? Okay. I'm going to, don't let anybody hang up yet. What's that, Krista?
I just have a comment.
Yeah.
And it's just be yourself and have a conversation. So it's just getting on here just like this, and you're just sharing your heart and you're being yourself. And I think that's the most important thing. And so, don't get all tripped up in your head like, oh my gosh, what if I say the wrong thing? Or, what if I don't close exactly this way? Like, just feel the moment and say what's on your heart and be real. And it's going to come across with the right intent.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay. One last thing, an important piece. We have another new team member that's hopped on. So Megan, would you want to introduce Angela quickly?
Yes. So I know Angie's video's off right now, but I know that you guys met her. And if you hear me, you can throw your camera on. But anyway, Angela started in the month of January, like right at the end. And she was at Fueled by Five the other night. Hey. And she was at Fueled by Five the other night. And Angela and I have known each other a long time. I'm super pumped that she's on here. She was a nurse for a long time before she has now 4 kiddos. And she is 50 points away from her BF currently. And she is going for Express to SC. And I'm super pumped for Ange.
Awesome. Great. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.
Thank you, Megan.